And it begins. What is up, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. Hopefully each and every one of you guys is having a great and amazing day. If it's your first time stopping by, go ahead and smash that subscribe button. Follow me on both of my social media networks, both Instagram and Snapchat. Go ahead and check out my clothing line. First link in the description on Teespring. Go ahead and use code STEALTHY15 for 15% off of your entire purchase today. That code is good until the end of December. With that being said, let's go ahead and get right into today's video. We got the RS back. As you saw, it got dropped off on a tow truck. That means that's no good. That means it wasn't fixed at the shop. It needs a time cert where the banjo bolt goes into the block. The block is stripped out. My mistake. So now we have to pull the block. So that's no fun. We're going to start working on it tonight, get a little bit done, remove the intake, remove the cal, drain all the fluids, and probably get a couple of other things done. But besides that, that's all we're going to do tonight. We're not going to rush this project. We're going to do it over a few days, bring it to a machine shop, let them insert the time cert, or let them install the time cert, and hopefully when we put the block back in, there is no more oil leak. Pray for me, cross your fingers, cross your toes, do whatever you have to do, but this car needs to get running ASAP. As you guys know, about a week ago, actually it's coming up on 2 now, we installed the Precision NX2 turbo, and I've probably driven about 20 miles and noticed that there was an oil leak. So I went ahead and ordered a new oil feed line, because I knew that's where it was coming from, because I didn't replace the original one. Come to find out, when we put the old one back in, it cross-threaded the block, and the new one did not fix the problem. So I'm going to have to buy all new fluids and a new oil feed line and filter, and drop that off at the machine shop. So we've got a few videos coming of disassembling the block, or removing the block from the car, taking the transmission off of the block, and potentially the PTU and turbo as well, bringing it over to the machinist and praying to God that he's able to save this block. If not, well, it's going to be a bit, but we are going to do a full build on the RS 2.0 or 2.3 stroker, and that should be fun as well. So let's get to it. Alright, you guys, so the first thing that we will be doing today is removing the cal, make it easier to get to the intake, and give us more room to do everything else. You simply just pull up on these little vents. Don't worry about the clips, they don't have to be removed. And then there's going to be a 10, a 13, and then 2 T30s and a 15 for the wipers. Those come off, the cal comes off, and that's that. Make sure you go ahead and put everything in a bag. I cannot stress it enough, and label everything. Alright, you guys, so next up I am taking out all of the screws from the upper bumper. Just get those out of the way. I'll do the bottom ones later once the car is jacked up and get the bumper off. Probably not in this video, but in the next one, I just want to knock these out while the car is, you know, level. So you got the 3 screws for the headlights, 1 screw right here, 2 screws right there on each side, and then the 2 clips. Pretty straightforward. Alright, next up I'm going to go ahead and remove the intake. In my case, I got a 10mm right on top. And of course, don't forget to remove the electrical. All my clamps are 8mm. Actually should be if you have any aftermarket piping. So that frees that section. Tighten up that clamp. get the final one on the bottom. Alright, so I got that freed up. Let me go ahead and move my phone so I don't knock that over and have another expense on my hands. So that is off. Make sure you move this. And just like that, the intake's out. Very easy to do once the cowl is off. Alright, now let's go ahead and remove the headlights. I unscrewed them earlier, as you guys saw. Just kind of pull out, and it clips out on each side. Alright guys, and like I said about labeling everything, just use some masking tape right on it. Obviously this is for my ethanol sensor. So obviously a lot of the electrical stuff on this car you're not going to have. For example, ethanol sensor, stuff for the port injection kit, to the injectors, all of that I'm going to pretty much put to the side or tuck it away the best that I could. We got electrical running back here. Electrical everywhere really. And we just need to be careful that we don't cut any of the lines. So right now I'm starting to go through and remove the zip ties holding all of the electrical together right here. I needed to clean this up anyhow, and hopefully if I'm not too pressed for time, when it comes to that time again, I could clean it up real nice. So this one is free to the ethanol sensor, so I'm just gonna kind of leave that hanging. It's not attached to the engine in any way. Start removing all of these from the coil pack. Map sensor. Alright guys, so I've been working on the wiring harness. As you see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4. Manifold 5. Label them like that, guys. Ethanol sensor. I've been just kind of mapping everything out, figuring out how I'm going to go about it. There's a couple of connections in the back that I'll get once the bumper's off, and then pretty much this whole part just peels over, and we'll continue. Alright you guys, so as you see, this is the oil feed line. The block is stripped out where that goes in. So that's the explanation for that. Unfortunately. Now I just need to pretty much drain the fluid down here. But while I'm down here, I'm going to go ahead and get these plugs. That should be pretty much it for down here, I believe. Let me just put that out of the way. I'm going to go ahead and drain this coolant from the PTU down here. I find that the fastest way. As you can see, there is oil everywhere on the car, so that's not fun. But let me go ahead and empty these fluids, let it dry overnight, and we'll probably pick this up tomorrow. There it goes. All right, so where is it? Right there. I'm gonna let that drain for a few minutes while I finish up with the wiring harness up on top, and then from there we'll drain the oil. I'll probably do the transmission tomorrow, and yeah, we are off to a good start. All right, you guys, so a little bit of an update. I pretty much have the whole passenger side, whatever you want to call it. I'm getting tired. Let's take a break. All right, you guys, a little bit of an update. I pretty much have the whole passenger side wiring harness all the way off, at least everything that I can see at this point. I have everything pulled from the PTU, everything on the right side. I'm going to start working on removing the hoses, the coolant hoses maybe. I'm not quite sure if I'm going to get to that point yet, or just call it at this point and clean up. I'm just working away. Whole passenger side wire harness is now off. Just have a few more things to do on the driver's side and take the bumper off to disconnect it from the PTU somewhere down there. All right, you guys, so a pretty successful night. As you know, we did take most of the wiring harness off, took the intake out, drained all the fluids, and of course, we just got a lot done overall. Tomorrow we'll be taking the bumper off, probably popping the axles out, draining the transmission, of course, and disconnecting the drive shaft. Pretty much from there, the whole front end's going to come off, the radiator. All the coolant hoses have to be disconnected from the engine, and we are well on our way to removing the engine. I do have to pick up a cherry picker, assemble that. I'll probably do that tomorrow as well. So tomorrow is going to be a pretty busy day, and I'm hoping by the end of the weekend. Today is Thursday. I only got to work on it for about an hour and a half to 2 hours tonight because I have other things to do. So tomorrow I should be able to get quite a bit done. At least get the axles out and put the wheels back on so I can lower the car, move it around as I need to, and yeah, finish removing the wire harness. Like I said, disconnect the drive shaft from the PTU. You make sure that you mark it with a paint pen when you do so you can line it up when you reinstall it, and we'll remove the battery, disconnect the down pipe, finish removing all the wiring from the driver's side of the car, and from there it's just a matter of connecting the cherry picker and bringing the engine out through the front. So that's that. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you have, go ahead and smash that thumbs up button, drop a comment in the comment section below. Let me know what your thoughts are and how long it's going to take me to remove the engine from the RS. The machinist quoted me approximately 1 week because he is backed up, but that's expected. So I'm hoping to have this car up and running before the end of the month. It is currently November 14th. Yes, the 14th. And so we have 17 days to have it up and running, and I believe that's a pretty reasonable goal. 3 days to remove it, 3 days to put it back in, and a week at the machine shop. So it's pretty doable in my opinion. Where did I leave off? Let's see. Go ahead and check out my merch line. First link in the description below. There's plenty of options on there. We got t-shirts, long sleeve sweaters, a couple different options of each. We got leggings for the females, and we got stickers. Go ahead and check that out. Use code STEALTHY15 for 15% off. Good until the end of December. With that being said, I'm out.
Yeah, boy.